Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Yahweh Bashim Shai, Barakathum to the hopefully elect. And this is just real quick, Lord's will, edifying and to the point. Because I've just been monitoring this situation with Turkey and its inflation crisis. All right, which there's fears because pretty much with what's going on in Turkey. A lot of people are going into how America is pretty much America's pretty much following after the footsteps of Turkey. Pretty much meaning that like America's next when it comes to what we're seeing in Turkey, as well as other places that is other places are dealing with inflation. High inflation, which pretty much Turkey, man, they're kind of. Because as Apostle Tahar breaks down from time to time, when it comes to inflation, when it goes, if it continues to go unchecked, it leads to hyperinflation. All right, and again, because like with Turkey, it's so bad over there that, I believe. Actually, I have another video. I had two videos that I'm going to play, but because the situation is so dire over there that people are. Because the what do you call it, the what do they call it, or the value of their currency is dropping every single day. I believe it just dropped another 5%, if I'm not mistaken. And as a lot of experts were talking, they've been going into over the past couple of months, the latter months of 2021. They were pretty much going into how this year 2022 it's not looking too good, that dealing with this inflation, how it's pretty much going to get worse. So like I said, I've been just paying attention to this, and the Spirit just got on me to say a few things speaking on this, because again, it's coming to Babylon the Great. And this is going to be another edition of Coming to America. All right. So I'm going to play these two videos, and I got a couple of precepts.
The tomato is an essential ingredient in most Turkish cuisine, and it's now selling at a record price, a rise of 70% in only 1 year. And in this traditional farmers market in the middle-class district of Bahçelievler in Istanbul, shoppers are feeling the pinch.
Berbat. Awful. It's expensive in the supermarkets too, but pensions stay the same.
Some people here blame the government for...
So you see, because the price of things is going up, but pretty much people, like with over here, gas is going up and the cost of living is going up, but pretty much everyone's paycheck is the means of living is going up, but the way to the cost of living is going up. The cost of living is going up, but we're still getting paid the same. The paychecks are still the same. So that's pretty much the situation in Turkey.
Lacking effective economic policies. Others say tradesmen and the wholesalers are taking advantage.
No conscience left in their hearts. They want to earn easy money.
This man says he's paying 40% more for flour than he did 3 months ago. And as his customers' incomes don't change, he can't raise the price. So the portions of Turkish phyllo dough he sells now weigh 110 grams instead of the standard 150 grams. At more than 19%, Turkey has the highest inflation rate in Europe and the 10th highest in the world.
For many in Turkey, it's the season to conserve food for winter, and they buy supplies in farmers' markets like this one. But this year, the soaring prices are eating into their incomes.
The devaluation of the Turkish currency is seen as a major driver for this high inflation. The lira has lost 60% of its value in the last 3 years and 23% this year alone. But critics say, despite that, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has taken an unconventional approach and prioritized cutting interest rates, and each reduction knocks the lira down even further.
The government doesn't prefer a high exchange rate, but it aims to stimulate the economy and give easy access for finance to increase exports and employment.
By pushing for lower interest rates, some analysts in Turkey believe Erdogan's primary concern is political, to prevent his voter base from eroding. And it's a tool, they say, is used to smooth diplomatic fallouts, such as when Turkish authorities arrested and convicted American pastor Andrew Brunson on terror charges and later released him.
After the diplomatic crisis in 2018, the government was forced to increase the interest rate to stop the lira's fall. Then with a new central bank governor, they had premature rate cuts, which caused a credit balloon and high inflation.
The level of risk investors face in Turkey is about 3 times higher than that of its closest peer countries, according to some financial agencies. And that's led to many pulling out, significantly limiting the inflow of foreign cash. Many experts predict the president will continue to intervene in the central bank ahead of general election in 2023, and that probably means little change for Turkey's struggling shoppers. Sinem Köseoğlu, Al Jazeera, Istanbul.
So yeah, this I'll say like the president over there, man. He's because he's basically moving in the direction of trying to become like this independent. I don't know if it was an importer or exporter, whatever the case may be. So he's doing all type of moves, which is actually doing more harm than good. And the people over there, man, they're getting sick and fed up with this guy. They pretty much want him to resign and whatnot, which that could lead to seditions, right? But yeah, man, like I said, with America following, a lot of experts going into how America's basically following after the footsteps of Turkey, because I believe, matter of fact, let me see if this, I'm gonna see if this next video says it, because that was a couple of months ago. And this one, this video here was posted just 23 hours ago, so.
Turkey's annual inflation rate jumped to more than 36% in December. That's the highest level in almost 2 decades. The value of the Turkish lira has slumped to record lows, forcing retailers to hike prices sharply. The currency has suffered as a result of a series of central bank rate cuts forced through by President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Let's get more on this from Rob Watts from DW Business. Rob, just how severe is the problem in Turkey, considering that there are inflation worries at the moment all around the world because of COVID, but how much more of a worry is it in Turkey right now?
Well, it turns out it's an even bigger worry than anyone had thought. No one was expecting, certainly analysts weren't, a figure of 36%. They converged around sort of 27%. They weren't expecting it to cross that 30 mark. These are the worst figures in Recep Tayyip Erdogan's time in power. So it's a really serious situation. And the key driver behind it is the problems that Turkey is having with its currency, the Turkish lira, which has lost almost half of its value during the course of the year of 2021. It started the year at 7 to the US dollar. It's now around about 14, although at one point during last month it hit 16 to the US dollar. And when you've got a weak currency, what that means is expensive imports, and expensive imports, more costs to suppliers, means price hikes get passed on to consumers, and it means.
So that's pretty much, again, going on over here, right? This is why you see things more expensive, gas and even food in certain places, because typically I go to the store, man, I pretty much get the same stuff that I usually get, because the same foods, a lot of the foods, like for my I get I get like kale and spinach and stuff, because I make these green shakes or whatnot, So lately, I've been noticing a price hike, and every time I'm with my with my woman, and we're grocery shopping, and we're getting stuff, and I tell her, hey, look, man, this inflation right here, man, because like I said, stuff is getting more expensive, because with stuff like this, then the exports and the imports, and the prices going up and stuff like that. Well, all that, they take it out on us, the consumers. All right, so this is why you see prices going up. That's pretty much what he just explained.
their food starts to get more expensive. And that's something that Turks are really seeing.
So what's being done to get things under control? Because it sounds like it's quite counterproductive what Mr. Erdogan is doing.
Yes, that is the strange situation that Turkey finds itself in, which is that the president has an economic policy that he thinks is going to bring about a new lease on life for the Turkish economy, but it would appear to be actually this policy is the cause of most of Turkey's problems. So what he believes is that high interest rates cause inflation, right? Which is against the received wisdom.
Exactly.
So he's been pushing for lower interest rates, and he's been sacking central bank governors who disagree with him on that. He's sacked 3 central bank governors since 2019. Now, as I say, the received wisdom is that actually what you want to do is you want to raise interest rates, and as a result of that, what you do is you get people to save a bit more, and they're spending less, and that stops prices rising. But no, Recep Tayyip Erdogan doesn't subscribe to that. He says his big economic plan, what he calls his economic war of independence, is eventually going to bear fruit, and that Turks need to be a bit more patient with it.
Okay, well, while Turks have to hold out, you mentioned their savings. What's happening to their savings at the moment? What are they doing to ensure that their savings don't disappear?
Well, yeah, this is the problem, because their savings are becoming worth less and less and less. So what can you do when that's the situation? If you've got a problem with your currency, well, you can start getting hold of other currency and using that instead, but that's not really an option for a lot of Turkish people. Another thing you can do is you can invest in safe haven assets, things like gold. And that is something that we are seeing. Gold merchants in Turkey saying they're having to sell in ever smaller denominations, ever smaller pieces of gold, because so many people want to buy them because the price doesn't fluctuate too much. And those are the sorts of things that Turks are having to resort to.
Hard times right now. Rob Watts, thank you very much for filling us in.
And that's exactly what's coming, man. Hard times, because one thing is going to lead to another. I often say, man, how it's going to get so. The situation is going to get so dire. I hear that, like with Turkey, man. 1 minute and to study more on, going into inflation and hyperinflation and, the causes and effect and what it can lead to and things like that. You could just look up, study the Weimar Republic and I believe there's Zimbabwe is I did a video on not too long ago. I believe a few brothers did as well. I know Apostle Tahar did a video on it some time ago, going into the situation with I think it's Zimbabwe, if I'm not mistaken, to where it's so bad over there with the hyperinflation, man, that a tube of toothpaste is runs you like $35, man, $40, $50 over there, and you see the thing with it, like with Turkey, 1 minute, 1 minute, because that's the thing, the prices of goods is changing every so often. So one day, the price of something may be let's just say a tube of toothpaste may be $12, right? And then the next day it can run you about $22, you see? And this is what's going on in certain places, right? I'm just using Turkey because Turkey's like they're like, when it comes to this inflation, man, they're like, I believe they said it, how Turkey, they're like, they have like the highest inflation right now. All right. But other places are suffering inflation as well. All right. And again, because one thing, is going to lead to another. All right. And the currency is going to become so devalued that you're going to have it to where, because I often say, man, not only is it going to be so bad to the point where things are going to be so overpriced and hyperinflated, but there's going to be a lack of it. There's going to be a lack of goods and resources, foods, right, so on and so forth. Because I said this a few times, man, how with the whole global supply chain crisis, right? You see people forget about these things where they're hoarding all these goods and resources, the goods and foods, right? Like even going back to when that ship that got stuck in the what was it, the Gulf of Suez, back in 2021, right? All these things people forget about, but eventually we're going to start seeing the effects of that because, you know, that has a negative impact, all right, you know, on the economy, all right? So eventually, you know, all these things that's going on, them holding all these ships off, you know, on the West Coast, which I keep saying, you know, I believe it's more than I think it's not just the West Coast, but eventually we're going to start seeing the results of that. All right. And again, you know, because like I said, you know, they had all these experts going into how 2022, man, when it comes to this inflation, it's not going to get any better, man. It's only going to get worse. All right. So not only that, are you going to have prices be ridiculously high? All right. But there's going to be a lack of foods and resources. All right. And one thing is going to lead to another. And this is why the script is going to how, hey, you know, get into it. First, I'm going to get this in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, because this is going to turn, the situation is going to get so dire out here, man. It's going to turn these people are going to turn to a brute state, man. They're going to, you know, it's going to be a dog-eat-dog world out here. This is what's coming. So Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 3 says, "And the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." All right. Matter of fact, I'll read verse 5. It says, "Also when they shall be afraid," because, you know, it's just basically going into how the economy, man, is going to get so bad. All right. You know, because this economy is already going to shit. All right. So this is why, like, you got with all these, what do you call it? The snatch and grab crimes that's going on, especially in California. Right. To where, you know, people at one point, you know, they were robbed before your phone, you know, your Apple Watches and stuff like that. But you see, that's not going to be that shit's not going to matter when this economy crashes. All right. Because that's where all this is going to lead to. It's going to lead to a complete shutting down of the economy. All right. You know, people aren't going to be able to, you know, work. Right. And like I said, because people are working now, but the fact that, you know, they're hiking all the prices and the cost of living is going up, but people's wages are the same. You see, you know, trying to take care of yourself and your family, man, it's getting harder and harder, you know. So there's going to be a complete collapse of this economy, and this is what's going to again cause people to revert back to a beast state, because like I was saying, you know, with these snatch and grab crimes that's going on, like I was saying, you know, it was a thing of robbing you for your cell phones and Apple Watches and stuff like that. But people aren't going to care about that shit when there's no food. All right, people are going to be robbing you for your food and your resources, you know, because like with what's going on out there in California, man, a lot of people, you know, grocery shoppers, man, they're being stalked, they're being watched. All right, you know, people, they're being followed to the home. All right, some people, they don't even make it out the parking lot. You know, as soon as when they pay for the groceries or whatnot, they get robbed in the parking lot in broad daylight. People don't care anymore. You see, and this is, the scripture's going to how, people are going to be lovers of themselves, man. You know, there's not going to be no natural affection. It's just going to be a dog-eat-dog world out here. This is where all this is going to lead to. All right, because again, inflation, if it goes unchecked, it leads into hyperinflation. And not only are you going to have, you know, prices being so high for basic necessities, all right, but there's going to be a lack of it. You know, there's going to be a scarcity. All right. But I'm going to read verse 5. It says, "Also when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets." So the point that I want to get out of verse 5, because it says, "And the grasshopper shall be a burden," just to show you, if you can see, because it says a grasshopper, right? Which, you know, when you look at a grasshopper, that's something that's looking at it from your, you know, your own perspective. All right. That could be something that's very insignificant, you know, something so small, something so little. All right. You know, a grasshopper, but it says, "And the grasshopper shall be a burden." All right. And basically showing that, again, just to show you how fragile this economy is. All right. Anything could, you know, it's just a matter of time before the straw that one straw that breaks the camel's back. All right, it's just that one thing that, you know, it's just going to cause this economy to go to complete shit. All right, you know, something so small and insignificant to cause this economy to go to shit. All right, so that's just the point I wanted to make with this. All right, the grasshopper shall be a burden, because that's how fragile America's economy is right now. You know, here it is, they're flaunting and talking about, you know, with the, you know, things are going to get better, and, you know, everything they're doing everything to give these people hope. But, you know, for those that have eyes to see, and those that, you know, because, you know, the Lord does have the spirit out here to where some people can see past the lies and the bullshit, right? Because here it is, America is suffering this inflation crisis right now. All right. You know, here it is, this guy Biden, man, he's just, you know, just basically telling everyone that it's going to be okay when it's not. And you have people that see that this shit is not okay. You know, things, you know, it's fucked up out here, you know. But that's just the point I wanted to get at verse 5. I'm gonna go to in the Apocrypha. I'm gonna read what is that? 2nd Ezra chapter 6. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, because, hey man, like I said, you know, it's just this is coming to America. You know, it's already here, but it's just not to the point where, you know, like I said, people are killing one another. You know, it's just not to that point yet, but it's coming. So I'm gonna get this in 2nd Ezra chapter 6. 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Just bear with me. So 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Verse 22 says, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown." Yeah, because all type of businesses, man, they're being affected by this. Because like I said, you know, hey, it's affecting them. So, you know, like I think it was the first clip that I played, you know, hey man, you know, getting these goods in, all right, to keep these businesses running, right, it's costing them more money. All right. You know, a lot of entrepreneurs, man, they're not so much entrepreneurs anymore. You know, because it's getting harder to maintain these businesses and whatnot and things like that. You know, a lot of entrepreneurs, man, they're going broke and closing up shop, right? You know, pretty much the middle class is being wiped out. All right, which, you know, all these things are orchestrated, you know, they're strategically set up, because when you read Revelation 13, it says, it tells you, man, how it goes into rich and poor. You know, there is no middle class. You're either going to fall in the category of the rich or the poor. All right. And, you know, with this inflation crisis that's going on in all these places, man, it's causing a lot of poverty, man. You know, so it says the full stores shall suddenly be found empty. All right. So, hey, this is what's taking place, man. All right. Businesses are closing up shop permanently. You know, the middle class was already almost completely eradicated when the whole first lockdowns back in 2020 took place. All right. And you still had a lot of businesses, you know, barely maintaining and holding on. Right. And now with these, because, you know, they're coming down with these draconian measures to where, you know, you can only have a 50% capacity, 25% capacity, you know, enforcing these, you know, the mask mandates and stuff like that, which is going to cause a lot more businesses to close up shop, because, hey, for the most part, people aren't with this shit, man. You know, they don't want to have to deal with this type of hassle. So, you know, people are, you know, going elsewhere, and, you know, it's you know, things is not the same anymore, which, again, the scriptures go to how, hey, the mirth is ceasing. You know, the Lord is closing the curtains on this place. So, hey, expect to see a lot more businesses, you know, close up shop. Expect to see a more increase on goods, you know. Last, I'm going to get this in 2nd Ezra 15, because, like I said, one thing is going to lead to another, man. It's going to get so bad out here, right, that I'm going to read this here in 2nd Ezra chapter 15 in verse 19. It says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." All right, because, hey, like I said, you know, it's only going to get more times are going to get more difficult, man, for all of us, so hey, it's going to turn these people's hearts even more cold. All right, just to say because of the love of many wax it cold, matter of fact, I'll get that real quick. Matthew 24:12, it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right, and when you go into that word cold, man, basically the Greek word, it says psycho, so like I said, hey, these people, they're going to turn into a beast-like state, man. These people, man, they're about to turn into complete psychopaths, man. They're going to get it the ski mask way. It's going to be a survival of the fittest out here. This is what all this is going to lead to, man. So just quick and to the point. Hopefully this was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh Shema Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Shema Shai Brakathum. To the hopefully elect. Lord's willing, till next time. Shalom.